So they'll be calling you a radical 25 years to this. The shot. 25 years later, the Nuggets. What? The Nuggets win the NBA title? Rocky Mountain High. This ain't Colorado. This is Utah. So, Stockton to Malone. Now, I want to make a point here. Because I had season tickets for all those years. The first years when the Jazz got here in 79. Oh, we were all amped up and psyched up. We got an NBA team in Utah. So, some people from Ogden, we bought season tickets. A couple $100 for the year. For the year. You heard me right. So this is important. I want you to look at this ticket. I was at that game. I scalped a ticket that day. That's the game. The Jordan shot game. So, look at the price. I want you to look at that price. Look at the price. I bought the plaque from a guy that day, too. I knew this was the last dance. I mean, Jerry was going to bust up a winning thing because he's degenerate. It's like the Jazz were degenerate. Busted up a good thing. That's what they do around here. So, it gets even better. Rocky Mountain High, this ain't Colorado. That's $66. Now, hang on, I'll tell the story about that. So, this is the first Jazz playoff game in history. They pass out these little banners. It's mine. These are every game in that series. In Denver and in Utah. So, the first Jazz playoff game in history. Look at the price. I want you to look at the price. That's all of it. You see that price on there? That's courtside. I'm sitting right behind. I'm sitting with Ricky Green's wife and Darryl Griffith's wife. $15.84. Okay, NBA Finals. That ticket is lower bowl. We're sitting right across where Jordan knocked in the shot. So, I know it was a Sunday. Oh, Larry Miller doesn't go to game on Sundays, but he sure sold beer, didn't he? Oh, he used to hide around the corner. I mean, that was all that's the way this culture is. It's not who I am, what you think I am, That's all posturing. So, it's a Sunday, I'm going to scalp a ticket. I'm over there where it's legal. It's legal to scalp here in Utah. So, here comes this young woman with her boyfriend walking, as soon as I saw her. Went right up to her. You got tickets? I knew she probably had her dad's tickets because they don't go to games on Sunday, supposedly. I says, you have one? Yeah. You want to sell it? Yeah, that's what I'm here for, to sell it. And I says, I'll give you $40. Okay. So I went to that game for $40. The ticket on it is $66. Scalping used to be fun. It used to be an art. It used to be really fun. I did it all over for years, And so what do you think that ticket cost you today? So my point is what has happened to the NBA. So the NBA, Battistone owned him when he brought him here. And me and my friends, we would take a bus from this cool bar on Wall Avenue with a keg on it to every game. It was a bus. A bunch of us old school basketball fans, hardcore. You remember the Jazz played regular season games in Las Vegas. They did Boise for a while. They played, preseason games that we were stayed at the D. Remember when Kareem broke the record was in Vegas against the Jazz. And so the scoring record, LeBron. So what's happened to the league is disgusting. So Battistone in 79, 80, we're not old enough to drink, but we drink. We are, but we're not Utah. Back when Wyoming, Idaho drinking age was 19. So Utah used to kind of backdoor honor it anyway. You're old enough. Go ahead. So, the good beer, when the beer was good, 16-ounce beers were $1. You heard me right. $1. $1. Rocky Mountain High, this ain't Colorado. And so he raised them to $1.25. So one of my first, because I'm the activist that wins. When I take on something, I'm not about raising money, cliche, because it's obvious. You can look at my GoFundMe page. That's how many years old? Don't raise much money, do I? Because people aren't interested in the activist that wins. They're in political dogma. So we protested. We made signs, me and my friends, and we stood out in front of the incredible, beautiful, magnificent Salt Palace. The Salt Palace was just like the Garden. It was Fort Knox. It was beautiful. Larry Bird said it was his favorite arena to play in because it had such great lighting. Stevie Nicks said it was one of her favorite arenas to play in because the acoustics were magnificent, and they had events all the time in there. I mean, it was grand. We were so lucky to have it. Of course, they tore it down, bit that big tin drum. That big tin drum is a piece of shit. So just think about this. No wonder the Jazz have a curse. Energy Solutions? That's what it was called. I remember when Bobby Sloan, I used to sit with her. You know, she died of cancer. They didn't, you know, that's the point with the NBA. Adam Slither makes me sick. David Stern, who fixed games, 2002 Kings, make me sick. They ruined this game. So you have my point is this, you have a generation. So we protested. We got media coverage. Not only Battistone lower the price back to $1, he sent us over rounds for years. I mean, we'd sit right up front. We know all the wires. After this game, the first playoff game, Denver, I'll never forget it. There was no press conferences. There was no nothing. After the game, the Denver players are outside of the arena waiting to get on their bus. You know, people are catcalling them out the window, yelling at them. I remember somebody threw a beer at one of them. And I thought one was going to come on the bus, and I don't know if it was Alex English or Fowley. They were so good, that Denver team, and those games were good. And that's back. I remember Larry Miller fighting George Karl in the stands, the owner, after Miller bought it, you know. So my point is this. How much do you think that ticket cost you today? What is face value on that ticket? So what's happened? You know what a beer is? $16. I think $16.50. So Stockton to Malone. I knew when he dropped that shot. So I'm sitting there with some guys from Chicago, and when the great Michael Jordan circled back, and don't you love that when he made this, he didn't put Jordan on it? You see Jordan on there? I don't. Where's 23? He didn't put him on it. That's how, it's irony when he made the plaque. Do you see Jordan? I don't. I mean, it's like Kevin Blanche. Ignore the greatest the Michael Jordan of the activist community. What a fool that dude was that made those. But, so, Jordan circles around, doubles back. The Jazz had the ball. They're winning the game. Scottie Pippen's got back spasm. He's a nothing burger in the game. He can barely walk. It was Jordan beat him single-handedly. Jordan circles back on Malone, sneaks on, and didn't do it the whole series and stole the ball. I told those guys, this game's over. Timeout. You know, the coach, Michael Jordan, calls timeout. And I'm like, I like how Phil Jackson takes all that. Michael Jordan was the coach. And so I said, this game's over. And he said, what do you mean? Everybody in this arena knows who's getting the ball, and Jerry Sloan's too stupid to know how to defend him. Well, maybe he'll kick it to Kerr like he did before. Now, guaranteed Michael Jordan shooting his shot. Well, they had Chris Morris guarding him. Chris Morris was an incredible player, but of course Jerry Sloan didn't like him. Like Jerry Sloan didn't like Stephen Curry's freaking dad. He didn't like lots of players, so he doghoused him. I mean, Jerry Sloan ruined so many players' careers. Shannon Anderson, you know, so many greats. He ruined their careers. He was so predictable. Everybody in the world knew what he was going to do before he did it. That's why he never won. He never won. And so those guys are like, what are you doing? I said, oh, please. You think Jordan's going to miss? He ain't going to miss. He's the moneyest player in sports history. He's the Joe Montana of basketball on Balco, on chemo. I mean, he's unstoppable. As you know, I'm sitting right across. Byron Russell. Oh, God, that dude. I don't know why Sloan loved that guy, but he was mediocre as it gets. You know, they were a great team. You know, they really were a great team. I don't see Chris Morris there. Chris Morris was one incredible player. But that's how it goes in the NBA. They wouldn't know if Picasso hit him around the neck. Ask Jerry Carding. They're not about a win. They're about sports merchandising. So the Jazz had the same uniforms. Denver had the same uniforms. Beautiful, incredible, for 25, 30 years. They have a different one every week. It's a the NBA is not a sport. It's a sports merchandising company. Get your NBA. And the people that go to the games are not even fans. So what the NBA has done, because this all happened in 98, Metallica was playing right there at the Weber State. Ride the Lightning. Where's your crown? It was over. It was over. And I knew it was over. You know, Jerry, that idiot at Chicago, he kept saying, I mean, what a degenerate. Let's see the greatest team in NBA history for a decade. Let's tear it apart. Nice, Birdie. Nice, Birdie. Chris Farley on Balco, 1990s on chemo. Please give me the 90s back. Please give me the 90s. Let's see. Downsizing the military industrialized beast. Or free. What? We had a surplus? Yep. Zero inflation for the entire decade. Zero. Please give me the 90s back. Please, please give me the 90s back. Basketball metaphors matter. So they've turned it in so you have an entire generation of young people that are now 25 years old, 22 years old, 18 years old that hate the NBA. Why do they hate the NBA? Because they can't ever go to a game. What are you going to do? Take the kids, go to an NBA game, the Malice in the Palace? You know, what are you going to do? Spend 2 months' wages to go to a shitty regular season game? $15 beers, $10 hot dogs, $20 parking. I went to the last Jazz game I went to, Rachel, the girl that I was dating then, from Copenhagen. She was 37 years old at the time. I think I was 50. She said, let's go to a Jazz game. Why don't I just say I got tickets? Somebody gave them to her. You going to make me go? You know? And so, yeah, let's go. So I go buy us a couple beers. So I think they were $12 then. You know, and this is 12, 13 years ago. That beer police then. Next thing you know, they're going to hold up signs, tell you when to clap. I'm like, what? Beer police? People used to smoke in these arenas. Used to smoke cigarettes and marijuana. No one gave a shit. What the hell? Whew. Remember the Portland Trailblazers got the law changed in Utah for, that's a whole nother, I can get into that whole thing. That's about as creepy as it gets. So, I got some great stories about Karl Malone, too, and his kabillion kids. So, I know a lot. I had season tickets for all those years. You know me. And so, they've priced an entire generation out. You can't go to a game. They hate basketball. They hate professional basketball. We need a new league. We need a new baseball league. I mean, all the players in the world that are getting just because they want a cookie cutter, somebody that can sell merchandise. They're not about winning. You know, it's about time Denver won it. Rocky Mountain High, the 8th seed was in the finals. Well, when a 1 seed beats an 8 seed, ask the Jazz. Shit gets crazy. So Governor Cox here a few years ago, and who's the worst governor in the history of the state, bar none. We go from Scott Matheson, who died of leukemia, young. That's what we do here. And you want to, I'll tell you how Utah I am. I was just over there, my nephew's. He's 7, me and him yesterday. Me and him watched the game together. He's 7. He'll be 7. He's got neuroblastoma. He survived it. And, you know, his great-grandfather, my dad, nuked to death, died of AML leukemia. That's how Utah I am. I lived in the bone marrow transplant center at LDS basically for 5 years. I'm 7th generation. We love basketball here, but we don't win. 71 ABA Utah Stars last time won. So they've priced us out. So your entire generation that have no interest in professional basketball. None. Same with baseball. They're pricing them out there. So you had 25 years of it. But Adam Slither, maybe David Stern go fix the 2002 Kings-Lakers game again. Remember that? You remember that? I think it's irony. Denver wins it on the 25th. So the longest franchise is now without a championship. Starting to get some acid rain. No, it's Fukushima nuclear rain. In the energy solutions. Arena. What? Sickos. Sickos. It's the Delta Center now. Didn't Delta have to emergency land a plane in Salt Lake yesterday? The Delta Center. Starting to rain. So congratulations to the Nuggets, but this ain't basketball anymore. It's a luxury good for a bunch of elites that don't even look at the celebrities at the game. Yay! God, make you throw up. They're doing the same thing to baseball. So I go to the Raptors game. I go to Weber State games. You know, it's a much better product. Look at the prices on those tickets. So yeah, I sell them both. That's every game at that series of Jazz. They pass those out. That's a real, I mean, that's old. I need to wash it. Magic Johnson teas. Is it Magic? No, that's Shaq that's getting served. How good was Magic? Oh boy. Whoa, it's Magic. I know. Never believe it ain't so. Where'd you sleep last night? Don't you lie to me. I slept in the dead pines with the suns from Fukushima, Japan. Oh, they always shine. All my trees died. So, it's an important video. I'll sell them both. And that for, well, Larry Miller. I mean, doesn't he own car lots? Stockton to Malone, he abused Stockton and Malone to the 10th power. I mean, they'll tell you that. You know, he played them. Where's he? Oh, he died. Oh, so the Miller family gets a legacy trust law. Here, they lobby the legacy trust, the legislator. We don't have legislator. You can't legislate from the grave. That's old European king philosophy. I thought we had a Revolutionary War. So the Miller family gets that change to save the Jazz. They want to keep the Jazz in the Miller family forever. You know, Gail Miller married the attorney after he died. She lobbies, he lobbies. We got to get this changed, you know, so we can legislate from the grave to keep the Jazz in Utah and in the Miller family forever. Then they immediately sell it to who? BYU. You know, we didn't like BYU much, and we're sure not Danny Ainge fans. Ooh, I remember when Danny Ainge played in the D up there, and everybody's booing in the tournament. Everybody's booing. Everybody's like, well, we couldn't believe it. Is she? No, we're Ogden. We don't like BYU. You know, and he got upset and beat because, oh, he won rings. Yeah, of course. And he was a hell of an athlete. But, you know, if you like to get bit, you know, he was dirty as they get. But they were in that days. Stockton. Oh, go through a pick on him. Layden used to call him the Bulldog. Karl Malone says there's only two guys I won't fight in the entire NBA that probably give me everything I want. They're both on my team. And he says, who's that? And he says, Jerry Sloan and John Stockton. Woo-hoo-hoo. But no rings. So the longest franchise now is the Suns in the NBA without one. 1968. And then you got the Clippers that sit the clip, 1970. They've never been to a finals. And then you got the Jazz, 1974. Maravich. He played here about 10 games, and they traded him. So my point is, look at these prices. I'll sell these for a new car. What's a new car cost? A good one? The nice ones? 100 grand. For real, think about it. You want to talk about inflation? Look at the price. Look at the price. Look at the price. Look at these prices. These are courtside tickets. What do you think they cost you now? They turn it into a luxury good. It's disgusting. Take the kitties. Dad, can we have a hot dog? Honey, you want a beer? Oh, here comes, so we go to a game, Rachel and I, and here comes the beer police. And the beer police come over, and because I hand her beer, she's 37 years. Granted, she's beautiful and she looks young, but she don't look that young. We need to see her ID. You just handed her beer. What? Some old self-righteous freak. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's 37 years old. I'll vouch for her. You know, here's mine. I'm 50. And she's like, and he got all stupid with me. I says, we're parked clear down the street. It's going to take me 20 minutes just to walk to the car, another 20 back. So, because we didn't want to pay, you know, $20 for parking. No, he's going to throw us out. So I says, I'll go. You just stay here. You know, because I really don't give a shit about the Jazz. I don't like the product anyway. So I walk out there, get up, miss an entire quarter of bad basketball. It's like when I'm in Brooklyn and they're scalping tickets out in front of the Barclays Center. And this is in the day, and I tell the scalpers, my daughters, how do you do it? How do you know they're not fake? Oh, I know the real people. I can tell you the real ones. I mean, I've been at this. I could tell a real basketball fan from a fake one. I mean, I could spot them 10 million miles away. And I says, what are you talking about? You want that much for those 2 tickets? Jazz Nets? You should pay me to go to that game. I mean, they're pathetic, both of them. This is just a few years ago, and he's like, who can argue with that? Give me $10. So he probably got them for free, you know, because nobody went to that. That arena's creepy in Brooklyn inside. You go in it, I'm telling you, it's creepy. And so, talk about inflation. So I says, I will never go to another Jazz game, and I haven't, and I won't. It's a horrible product. We need a new league. We need a new professional basketball league. It's so ripe. People, I can't believe it, with a salary cap and price ticket caps for the kids like it used to be. We need a new baseball league. We need one. So a long video, but it's important because it's 25 years to the shot. And you don't think that's a... Basketball metaphors matter. And talk about draw a line in the sand. Talk about draw a line in the sand. It's a marquee moment in history. Really not out of control inflation. Really not out of control debt. Crumbling infrastructure. A war machine when we were downsizing. Remember, we were going to shut Hillfield. Now we got F-35s, all wings. We will, which I can't believe I haven't heard one yet this morning. You know, and so the military, I mean, everything metallic in the Weber State Stadium at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in a lightning storm. Rip me open, pour me out. There's things inside, Kevin Blanche, that scream and shout. Where's your crown? Where's your crown? Where's your crown? Slither. Where's your crown, David Stern? Go fix another game, 2002 Kings. What they did to that game. David Stern admitted it. Remember, the referee went to prison. How about that call last night? They tried to get him back in, the Jimmy Butler, when he kicked him, and they called the foul in Denver. You don't think they have an incentive to make these games go longer? That was the worst, one of the worst calls I've ever seen. That was right up there with the Game 6 of the 2002 Kings. What were the fouls? 100 and a Google to 0? I mean, the whole game's a farce. It's a horrible product. It's disgusting. You're getting rain on your tickets. Yeah, so what? Makes them more authentic. For sale, 122,000. No, 133,000. That's what it's worth. Let's try finding this collection. You won't, because I'm one of a kind. Where'd you sleep last night? Slept in the dead pines with the suns from Fukushima, Japan. Oh, they always shine. Stay in tuned. The luxury good. It's disgusting. Energy Solutions Arena. What? Nuclear waste all over our place. The toilet, Utah. We don't make nuclear waste. No, we just put it here in their sewer system. Ask Cox. Ask Herbert. Cox gets caught bringing nuclear waste into southern Utah illegally. After I asked him, he played dumb. Stay in tuned. Stockton to Malone, the great Hot Rod Hundley. We go from Hot Rod Hundley to David Locke. Oh, Hot Rod Hundley was the greatest. He was the greatest. Belt high dribble. The cowhide globe hits home. From the parking lot. Stay in tuned.